Hello, 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 hello. I'm Lynn Browner, and I have a son, Owen, who is 12. He has autism. We paint together, working on his fine motor skills. He helps me paint the backgrounds of our paintings with a hand-over-hand method, and then I paint the rest. I'm doing something a little bit different tonight. I'm making I'm making a large I can never say it right, poinsettia, but I'm using it's kind of a brick red background to begin with. And one of the things that always fascinates me is how paint dries on different colors and everything. So I'm just making this kind of all red tones. I'm gonna go back once I've got this kind of all laid out. But it all, I don't know why, but if you've watched before, I always say it. Paint drying is it's very fascinating to me. I don't know. It just makes me happy. So I talk about it a lot, and watching paint dry on this canvas, and reds a lot of times, yellows do this to me too. They seem to disappear no matter what the color is that you got it on. And of course I know it depends on the paints and everything. And I say, of course I know. I've learned over the years that for me, that's what happens a lot. But I'm still very fascinated by it all and what happens as paint dries. So I'm going to kind of make this a little bit deeper and more paint on top of it, let it dry for a minute, and then kind of go back in. I'm going to put some leaves on here, probably too many leaves or not. Oops, there's a big clump. There we go. And then go from there. And as I always say, it's just paint. So if something we don't like, if it doesn't work out, we just have paint on a canvas and we try again tomorrow. We just have to enjoy the moments. And painting is one of those things that I started out painting with my son, for my son, to work on his fine motor skills, and he's doing so much better. But truly, it's such a release for me to be able to share our journey and our life and what I've been going through, what he goes through. And it's just what the doctor ordered. So I am very excited. Tomorrow I'm doing a comedy show for I'm currently in breast cancer. If you're new to my channel, I have I think I said I'm currently in breast cancer treatments. I'm not sure what I said. The brain, I can't even talk. The chemo brain is real. And when I first started talking about chemo, I kept calling it camo. Every single time I would call it camo. So to any of my doctor's appointments or anything that's any type of appointment or anything like that I do, I definitely wear chemo. See? I wear camo to my chemo appointments or any other related appointments. There is no brain left, and I'm sure I'm going to have lots of fun tomorrow night losing my mind of what I'm trying to say. And it's funny because I've written a couple of jokes in that vein that I'm gonna forget everything that I've said or everything that I'm doing. So it's not, we'll just take our time and we'll get done when we get done. And if I remember 2 jokes, I remember 2 jokes, and we have fun with those 2 jokes. Oh, you gotta laugh. You gotta let it all out. Because there's way too much of the way too much. And it's interesting because I had a port installation before all my chemo started, and I was dreading it because previously it's been very hard to be knocked out for me, and I don't know what the new drug was or if it was the doc. I don't completely know, but I was out quick, and I was quite relieved. Actually, that was like the most stressing part of it for me. But it actually, the surgery was nothing. I mean, it was, I didn't, of course it hurt, but it was nothing compared to what the chemotherapy is. This stuff can like knock you silly, and my stomach does not, 1010 does not approve of this chemo. But, we're going to get through it. I'm in it to win it. And I'm not going to let this stop me, because I got too many other things to do. So, I have my surgery in December the 11th, and a couple other appointments, numerous other appointments. But that's where we're at right now with all of that. I want to go back in. Let's see. I'm gonna start an avalanche. I have I've been trying to go through my paints to get the ones that no longer truly work. But some of them are just dried out and not the best or whatever, but it's just as it dries, like I said, I'd like to kind of go back in there and add more outlines, more colors to things so that it will kind of shine through. I'm trying to be a little more patient with my paintings, because usually I'm like, okay, let's get done. But I'm trying to be a little more purposeful some days. Let's make sure we add that in some days. So now I'm going to go back in and kind of do, let's see. I think I'm going to, if I can find it and not start the avalanche. I'm not going to outline. I'm putting black on my palette here. I'm not going to outline it, but I'm going to just rub some of this black in with the red in certain places as I'm kind of going through it. It's making a mess. Just to give it a little more, it's the texture of it. Like I said, I'm not really going to outline it, but just to kind of give it some more definition. Because, when you look at a leaf, it's got all that leaf of the flower. The flower. My mom has got such a green thumb, and she does amazing in her garden and has all of these things, and I can't. I'm terrible with the names. I'm terrible with what they look like. I'm always guessing, like, what the thing is called, what it is, and that type of thing. And she's so good at it. But I always laugh because I can't eat. I have a hard time, and people have helped me before, but I have a hard time with the name of my flower. I always call it my favorite flower. Well, I love poppies. That one's easy to say, but I always call them grocery store flowers because they're the bunch that comes in a million different little colors. They're Alstomeria something. I may have gotten closer than I've ever gotten with that, maybe. Someone told me to look up the translation, and I have millions of times, but I'm just bad with words. And it's funny because I write all the time and I talk all the time, but words baffle me. So anyways, those are my favorite flowers. I don't even attempt to paint them, but I absolutely love them. I need to see if they grow. I live in West Virginia. I need to see if they grow in West Virginia. I haven't ever looked that up because I would love to have them. Again, not that I really would be. I would love to be rich and have a gardener. Let my mom garden, but also, not to put extra on her. I would love to because I want a pretty garden, but I am terrible about the whole, houseplant thing even. I'm so excited. I think it's called an air plant, I think. It's very tall, and spiky. I was going to say spiky. So I think it's called, an air plant, but, I've had it for maybe a month and a half, 2 months now. And it's just, that was not, folks, what I wanted. That is what it happens to me a lot because I put way too much paint on my paintbrush. Luckily, it fell in the crowd there, and we will get that rectified in just a moment. But it's like a very easy to get along with plant. And so I've been able to keep it quite healthy because you only have to water it like every few weeks. So not a big deal in any way, shape, or form. So that is quite exciting to me. See, we're just gonna fix that right back up. The lights, I still need to work on that. But so I got the air plant because it's supposed to help with cleaner air and all that fun stuff. So I got it as a baby plant, and it's already grown like several inches. So I'm very, that was not what I wanted. I wanted it to stay a little thinner. So we're just gonna have to, no big deal, people. We just move on. As I say that to myself, get over it. I talk to myself a lot. I don't know if anybody else enjoys that fun as well. But okay, so we're just we're almost there. So now we're gonna put some yellow dots in here. I want a little bit of, I want it to be yellow, but I want it to have a little, like, kind of like I did with the black. I'm gonna, just so it's not just stark yellow in there. So I think that's, because, you know, sometimes if it's too, and not that we don't do perfectly imperfect paintings, as you, oh, that was not what I was meaning to do. I didn't want the yellow right there, which it technically doesn't matter, but there we go. But we just wanted to have a little more, you know, unevenness. So there we go. I think, you know, it's just rough and raw. Rough and raw. Now we need a little. Okay. So I always sign O for Owen, since he helps me with the backgrounds. And then L and B. So there we are. And that'll probably fade in the background too. So thanks so much for watching and being a part of my day. I'm sure I left out a couple little stories there as I rambled on. I probably started stuff and stopped stuffed. Oh, okay. No, I went backwards with what I was doing, but that's okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Toodles.